Hello everyone and welcome to Game Club. Today we are racing laser light bikes across, well, a table I guess, in Laser Riders, the game that feels a lot like Tron but isn't. Join us as we open, play and review. So now for the unboxing. Right, okay, we'll start. It's already been unboxed, so it's already been played a couple of times as well. So this is Laser Riders, the booklet, pretty well sort of put out. And to be fair, the game isn't overly complex anyway, but it does allow for enough detail there. You've got your character boxes, so that's the Galactic Wave Rider, and inside the Galactic Wave Riders, always fun. And inside there is your scoring, your speed icon, or speedometer, and then of course your other additional items that you need to play as the Galactic Wave Rider. We then have same again with the Super Sheriff. I'll probably just slide this out to show you. So same again, and we have again our speedometer and then additional arrows to show direction, etc. We've got the Laser Shark, who has exactly the same, and how a shark does that I'll never know. This is the only additional thing that's new, is the directional starting point. And then we have the Phantom Cosmonaut, who again looks nice and happy, and again we've got that starter, we've got the speedometer, etc, etc, all good to go. Right, I will now set her up, and just to note, I do kind of like this aged retro thing, but I think it's kind of playing to a bit of fetishization, which really annoys me. Join us as we now play Laser Rider. So effectively in front of us is the race track that we'll be playing on for Laser Riders. Just to note, to start off with, players will have to choose a number between 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is their gears, as it says light speedometer is actually the gear stick, or the gear shift. You choose which one you want to go and effectively use that in order to move. The person with the highest, so in this case the Laser Shark, he will go first, and then our friend the Phantom Cosmonaut will go second. You'll get a first token, and when you've raced completed, you've done. And a second token, again, when you've raced completed, you have done. You then place your, effectively your directional finder here, and then off in running, you choose, so for instance, as this says it's a 3, you would then choose a 3, and you then use that to move around the board. So you'd go, for instance, 3 here, you'd curve in, I don't know if you can see that. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to hit these prisms in order to go through them and complete the race. The goals are very simple. You use this to move around, you basically then shift it every turn in order to effectively turn. If you have to, and I'll just show you this to you, because one of the rules, which is slightly awkward, it's just slightly annoying to be fair, is when it comes to spinning out. So for instance, if you're going straight, then you basically use the straight piece to go ahead. And apologies, I've used actually curve, that should have been a straight piece to move ahead there. But if you decide to use a curve, you have to roll, you have to attempt to curve, because a curve, one is a way of shifting around something, but two is also, it takes, especially at speed, takes a little bit of getting used to. So what you do is you have to roll the dice here, and this is your curve dice. And if the result is your current gear number or higher, you succeed, and if it's lower, you fail, and basically you have to place a straight there. Often people use curves, 1 to avoid each other, but 2 is also if they, for instance, wanted to quickly go sort of, instead of having to go straight along here, they can go curved into there, and it's really a win or fail. But you also get a crash symbol as well, and if you crash, you spin out, and basically you have to place a curve piece with the same number as your current gear, but then shift your gear number all the way down to 1, and you basically, if you crash into each other, you then, which is where both of the lines will cross, you then have to effectively start again, which is called respawning, which is not good at all. Anyway, the game is that's it. I mean, it was sort of a 2-player one there, and you have your 2 starter points in. You effectively go around and try and get these, and then complete the race, and you can play a couple of rounds of it. But that is Laser Riders. Laser Riders is not those sort of game that's going to bear much in the way of critical sort of force. It's a sort of game that is designed for an obsession of sort of 80-esque, Tron-esque ideals, as well as also a game that maybe looks a lot sort of better as an aesthetic than it does as actually a playable entity, because the game is pretty dull, pretty empty, and after 2 or 3 plays you kind of just have done with it. I think overall it's the sort of thing that probably will be forgotten long before it ever sort of gains any sort of value long term. So I don't even think it's going to be one of those things that in 10 years time people go, oh, remember that game called Laser Riders, it wasn't too bad. It's not a good game. I'm sorry, it's not a good game. It's a sort of game that I really loathe. There's no value in it, it's very expensive, and I'm sorry to say it's the sort of game that probably should be sort of left on a shelf and never sort of returned to. It has a lot of good looks, and that's the thing I'm saddest about. Whoever's created it has really sort of worked hard on a really strong aesthetic. It's not a good game. Anyway, that was Laser Riders, and please don't buy it. I'm Simon and this is Game Club. Thank you for watching.